Ladies, welcome to the Feminine Mystery. My name is Azalea Dawn, and on my channel I talk about leveling up hypergamy, femininity, and elegance for all of those of you who are looking to get yourself into the right hypergamous relationship for you. If that sounds interesting to you, then please check out the rest of the videos on my channel and subscribe if you like it. Today's video, we're going to be talking all about why you should stop playing private detective, because sometimes knowing less will get you much further in life. So let's get into it. Now, I was moved to make this video because I've noticed, over my time, just really as an adult woman, but, really talking to other women about the relationships and dating and, what it's like to be out there, looking for your perfect match. I noticed that a lot of times, depending on what kind of people that you associate yourself with, there are entirely different mindsets about dating. And a lot of people, especially in lower, I don't want to come off snooty and say lower social classes, but that's it, to be honest, right? A lot of people are very preoccupied about ideas like cheating or what somebody is doing when they're not around, right? A lot of people have trust issues, and they exercise those trust issues in ways that I don't think are conducive to really engendering, the kind of relationship that you would want over the long term. I also think that this behavior is a form of self-sabotage because it really prevents you from getting the things that you want, and it attracts the things that you are trying to avoid right to your doorstep. So we're going to talk about this a little bit here. So the first point that I wanted to make here is that control is an illusion. You simply cannot stop somebody who is motivated to do something from doing that thing in a vast majority of circumstances. Free will is one of those things that really just, it will move mountains. A man in particular, right, men by nature, especially high achieving men who have really stepped into their masculine energy and have made big names for themselves or have had, some sort of real success in the world. A lot of those men are very determined people. They focus their will, they focus their concentration on their goals, and they're really moved to achieve those things in spite of obstacles. They love overcoming obstacles in order to get towards their goals. And fighting against that instinct is going to be really hard for you, right? If you are somebody, as a woman who is constantly trying to control a man, it's going to be a non-stop job, especially, affluent men, especially men who have risen very high in the ranks of their careers. Men who are doing well for themselves are probably people who are very driven to get the things that they want, for better or for worse. So what I'm trying to say is that when you try to control another person, whether it's because you are afraid of them hurting you in some way, right? Maybe you're afraid to get cheated on, so you're constantly trying to make sure that this guy isn't cheating on you, make sure that he can't cheat on you, make sure that you know where he is at all times, and, follow him around from here to there, all of that stuff. At the end of the day, you're not going to stop You're not going to stop this man from doing what it is that he wants to do. You can convince yourself for a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year that you can control him and stop him from doing something. But the minute that he wants to do it, ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough. He's going to find a way to get it done. And that's just the nature of men. In addition, I really just wanted to point out that with our recent global health situation, right, a lot of people, what was really highlighted for me is how many people truly feel like they would rather die than be told what to do, right? Many people are individualists. They do not like to be controlled. They don't want to feel as though somebody is compelling them towards a certain action. And even if the price of that is literally death, right? America in particular, we are the land of give me liberty or give me death. And a lot of people take that very literally, right? Even when death is very much on the menu, a lot of people will choose their personal freedom, their individuality. They want to be able to, not have anything put on their face. They don't want to be told what to do by the government, and that just is what it is, even if the price is their personal health or the health of their loved ones. And that is the kind of thing that I really just hope that you as an elegant lady understand, right? And you stop trying to control people, because it's only a thin veneer of an illusion, right? As soon as, something happens, you will very very much discover that you cannot control another person and what it is that they want to do. So you don't want to start putting energy into that in the first place. Now, the next one that I wanted to make here is that whatever you're looking for, it's there. And let's expand on this a bit, because I really think that this is the most, the single thing that is going to change things for you is really understanding this. Whatever you are looking for, it's there. Right now, chances are you are not a person, I'm trying to be delicate with how I'm phrasing this here, but you are not a person who has like paranoid delusions, right? If you are not actively going to a trained mental health professional, a psychologist, a psychotherapist, and talking about your paranoid delusions, right? By the time you as like a normal person think that something is there, like you're getting a bit of an inkling and you're starting to wonder things like he was out like really late at night, like what's going on? Or like I wonder like what his texts are like in his cell phone. Is he texting somebody else? Or I wonder like what's in his laptop? Is he like carrying on an affair in some way? By the time you are asking yourself these questions or even getting these little inklings, it's for a reason, right? Our subconscious mind is incredibly powerful. Our subconscious mind is literally the engine that keeps our heart beating, hundreds of thousands of times without us even thinking about it. It's the engine that keeps, us breathing and, functioning. It's what gets our muscles to work. It is an incredibly powerful thing, and it is constantly taking in innocuous information from our environment, like little smells here and there, little noises, little, this and that. And it is assembling that information together into a picture by the time that it elevates it into our conscious mind, where it's like, hey, pay attention to this. And that is our intuition. And many times for a feminine woman in particular, our intuition is very powerful. That's an evolutionary thing, right? It's literally your built-in defense mechanism. That little thing in your mind, that little voice, it's like, hey, maybe you should pay attention to this, or hey, maybe something is going on over there. That's a little bit of a shady situation, or oh, this person has bad energy, right? There was this entire thing with when Oprah was talking about, personal defense. She interviewed all of these women who have gone through horrible experiences in life, horrible violent assaults, etc., kidnappings, and things that we can't even mention on YouTube. And the thing that stood out to her is in each and every one of these situations, the women who were in them, like they talked about having a bad feeling going into that. Like as soon as they were around this person, they felt that energy and they instantly knew that this was not a safe situation. And that is the power of intuition, right? The thing that often goes wrong that Oprah talked about is that a lot of women don't listen to that. They don't act on it. They don't, believe it when it's there. And that's the thing. Whatever you think is happening, it really is. So like before you open up somebody's, text messages, before you start digging through their phone, you have to understand that like you're not crazy. You don't even need to like put the effort in to start like looking for this or that, because by the time you're looking for it, it's there. And what you really need to focus your attention on is what you're going to do now that you're in this situation. Stop gaslighting yourself. Don't look for additional evidence. Don't tell your intuitive voice that you don't trust it. Because when you do that again and again and again over time, you're eroding that voice inside yourself and you're not ready to take action on it. So if you're starting to feel like, oh, like there might be like infidelity here, instead of, starting to like recruit all of this evidence, start to think about what you're going to do about that. Are you somebody who is perhaps like in a situation where you're okay with the idea of somebody cheating? Or are you in a situation where it's like, okay, like you'll wait a few more months until like you ultimately decide to break up with this person? Are you somebody who's like, you're in a situation where you're prepared to leave right here and right now? It is what it is, but start actually thinking about what it is that you're going to do, because like whatever it is that you think is there, 9 times out of 10 it is. And if not the thing that you were expecting, it's something worse. Now, the next thing that I want to touch on is the idea, is your peace truly worth it? Right? Is your peace worth getting all of these answers? And I want to expand on the last point that I made, that when you're looking for something, 9 times out of 10 it's there, but once in a blue moon, it's something much worse than you were expecting. Now, I listened to a podcast, and if you listen to the same podcast, then you're going to know what it is that I'm talking about, but they do listener letters on this podcast. And a woman wrote in about a really difficult situation that she was having in her marriage. Basically, she is married. She's been married for maybe like a decade to this man. They have a child together, at least one child, that's still very young. And she might have been pregnant. I forget the details of it, but like they definitely have a family together. They're married. It is as they're as together as can be. And essentially this woman started to be a little bit concerned about her husband's behavior. She started to get one of those little inklings like, like this is a little bit weird, like what's going on? And instead of, just like listening to that, she started to investigate, right? So she goes and she starts to snoop essentially in this man's computer, because she thinks like, oh, he might be having like some sort of like online affair with a woman or something of that nature. And instead what she finds is a lot of messages from men. You might be thinking like, oh, the husband is gay. No, it's even worse than that. It turns out that this man had been, her husband had been essentially catfishing men using images of one of I believe their mutual friends. And a lot of the men that he was catfishing were his or their, as a couple, their personal male friends, right? So it's a lot of, very sexually explicit messages between these men and the man that she is married to that are going on over here. And she's writing in, talking about, what is she gonna do? Is she supposed to divorce him and leave? They have a child together, blase. She is now in this situation where she has all of this information. Her husband doesn't know she has this information, and she doesn't know what to do with that, because that is an incredibly weird and hard situation to get through. And that is the entire thing here. What I felt going into this is that this woman in particular, that is the cost of, scratching that itch. They have a saying, curiosity kills the cat for a reason. The wanting to know what it is that something is, especially when you're not prepared to actually do anything about it, is not, in my opinion, worth it. I would, if I was in her situation, have much rather gone on about things not having that information at all. I am going to have to, see this person, we have a child together, in this hypothetical situation, regardless, I'm going to have to see him until these kids are 18, right? And I'm going to have to, if we get a divorce, I'm going to have to explain to the kids why we got a divorce. If we, stay together, I'm going to have to, stay together with him knowing that this is what he did. And all of these are not positive. It is just a disruption to your peace at the end of the day. Because again, you can't control another person. You're not going to be able to stop him from doing this. If this is something that he wants to do, he's going to find another way to do it. He might find a better way to hide it from you, but he will continue this behavior as long as he wants to continue to do it. And you're not going to be able to undo it, right? You can't reach into the past and stop something that has happened from happening. So I just question the value, in my opinion, of that information in that situation. I would much rather, by the time that I am locked into a position, I cannot do anything, I cannot adjust or make any changes. I would rather personally have my peace. So this is just a PSA that, again, before you start, digging, just realize that, there's a 1 in 10 chance that whatever you find there is going to be much worse than what it is that you were actually looking for. And before you do that digging, you want to make sure that you're in a position where you either are prepared to cut ties with this person altogether, right? You're in a position where you can do that, because again, if you have children together, you are going to have to share custody. I question the utility of information at that point. But again, you just have to decide whether or not your peace, right, your peace of mind, you just going on about your day is worth it, is worth sacrificing in the name of all of this information. Now, the last point I want to make here is about the value of just walking away, right? Learning to just walk away from situations that don't feel right. Now, this is getting a little bit into the last things that I was saying here, but if you are in a situation, and you are early on in that situation, what should you do, right? You can't, investigate any further. You can't, confront anybody and get any answers because they're just going to lie to you if they really want to at the end of the day. What can you do? Well, just honor the feelings that you're feeling inside of yourself, right? If you are genuinely feeling bad energy, bad vibes, something is just wrong. Don't, fall into any of this private investigator role play stuff. Just walk away from the situation. Learn to honor that voice inside you and say that whatever is going on in this situation, it's not right for me. I don't need to know anything further. This doesn't need to involve me any further. I'm just going to walk away and, go be somewhere where this energy is not there. I am just going to cut ties with this person, this situation, and let whatever their problem is be their problem. I'm going to let this person do whatever they're doing over there with themselves. And, just getting into that mode as you're going through the dating process, as you're going through the, ultimately the engagement and family building process, I think is hugely important because that's going to really allow you to just exist in your, feminine energy without worrying about all this stuff that somebody else could be doing, this worst case scenario catastrophizing. It's just stressful. It is, giving you wrinkles, aging you. It is just, causing you to gain weight in your midsection. It's just not worth your peace at the end of the day to be so concerned about what other people are doing. If it's not right for you, I would draw the line at recognizing that it's not right for you and just let it go. And with that, ladies, that's the end of this video for me. I hope that it wasn't, too controversial, but I just had to put my 2 cents on this topic out there, and I hope that you are in a place where you can receive that positively. Obviously, I'm not here to make rules for you in your life. If you feel like you just have to know, leave a comment below. What's the most shocking thing that you discovered about another person playing private investigator? Leave a comment down below for us. And I will see you in my next video. If you've enjoyed this one, then please check out the other videos on my channel and subscribe. Bye!